Good day, my name is Bob Nisbet, your host for an interview with Alan Amabisca, candidate for Washington County Commissioner Chair position in an upcoming election. Alan, welcome to Tualatin Valley Community TV.
Well, thank you, Bob. Glad to be here.
Now, this election is May 20th. People get ballots as early as May 1. And why should people care about the upcoming election?
Well, Washington County Commission is a primary government, a local government for the over 200,000 people that are in the unincorporated areas of Washington County. And the county is responsible for roads, sidewalks, garbage fees, even taxes. Think about the license fees you probably have read about recently, public safety. So a whole variety of services are being provided by the Washington County government.
Now, this is a nonpartisan election, correct?
Correct. That is
so
correct.
you're not running as a Democrat or a Republican. Why are you running for this position?
Well, across the county, it's doing okay in many regards, but citizens are uneasy. They feel there's something amiss with the priorities, and they've been talking to me about their concerns in a variety of areas, and I'm agreeing with them. I have had the same concerns. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be bringing a different view of the county's priorities than the current county chair. I'm going to be looking at improving our roads, sidewalks, looking at our land use planning to help preserve our farmlands and natural resources, where several polls recently have shown that over 65% of the voters in Washington County have that very same concern. They want to protect the farms and natural resources, but at the same time, they want a robust economy, because with jobs, good paying jobs, careers are what people are looking for. And the other areas is around schools. People are unhappy with what's going on with the schools. So I bring those same views. I'm going to be working on addressing those particular issues. That's why I'm running.
Now, I believe there are 5 commissioner positions, and
Right.
the chair position is one of those 5. How does the chair position differ from the other commissioners?
So the other commissioners are specific districts. They're portions of the county. So the county is essentially broken into 4 separate districts. The chair is for the entire county. So the district commissioners, when they run for election, they're just running for their particular area. They have their particular interests for their particular citizens that they're dealing with the issues in those areas. The county chair must view the entire county as the overall guidance for the county, provides the policy guidance, is working with the administration at that level. It's actually a full-time job, whereas the other commissioners are considered somewhat part-time. So there's a significant difference in that area.
Could you tell us some of your background?
Sure. Was raised on a farm here in Oregon, down by Lebanon, in the Willamette Valley. After high school, joined the military, served in the Air Force for 4 years. When I finished that, I went to college, worked part-time, went to school part-time, full-time, worked my way through college, ended up with 2 degrees. I have a business degree in finance, which is the basis of my business career, but I also obtained a science degree in botany because of my love of the nature and the environment, having been raised on a farm, and the love of just plain learning. I took on that degree too. And then after college, I worked in a variety of businesses, both large and small, and including in the high-tech industry. And I just finished a 21-year career at Intel, where I was working in their finance group. I just retired from that company. I've also worked with nonprofits. I've been a director of a number of nonprofits that range from cultural organizations to sports, education, and conservation. I've also been involved with schools because my 2 daughters went through the public school system here in Washington County, and I served on school district committees such as budget and planning. I've been elected as school board director, and I've been a school board chairman. And I've also served in other varieties, such as a 4-H volunteer. I helped the kids in the 4-H clubs. So I've had a wide variety of backgrounds there. And in my career, my specialty was in the finance area, as I mentioned. There I managed staffs, was a single individual contributor. I was involved with working with worldwide operations. I built and maintained large multi-billion-dollar global payment processes. And throughout all of those assignments and in my public career, my specialty is that I would listen with people, listen to them very carefully to learn what their problems were so that we could help solve them, and also get their feedback on great ideas so that together we could figure out what to make the right decision and obtain the best solution for all. And that's what I'm going to be bringing to Washington County.
Very good. Could you tell me what exactly is gain share and what is your position on it?
So gain share is basically the reimbursement process that the state provides when we use our economic tools. When we give tax breaks to the large companies such as Nike and Intel to help keep them here and help them expand here. Some people don't like the tools, but we are in a competition with other states. So we do need to have incentives that keep these large companies here because they're producing great paying jobs and have great career opportunities for our citizens. But in those tools, what's happening is we're cutting the taxes, and those taxes that are being cut are impacting our schools and our community services that are being funded. Gain share is the state's methodology of reimbursing the cities and counties for that lost revenue. And what gain share is to be done is to be given back through the county. The expectation is the county will turn that money back over to the government agencies, the schools, the community services that were negatively impacted to make them whole. And that's the purpose of gain share. It's a reimbursement process. Not perfect. There can be a couple of years delay in here, so it can be difficult for the organization impacted. But it's the best we have right now, and it is a viable and powerful tool of reimbursing the communities.
Could you tell us 3 ways that you and your opponent are different?
Sure. We'll start with gain share. So gain share, as I mentioned, is designed to reimburse our schools and our community services. Currently, the current chair is taking tens of millions of those dollars and is budgeting it to build an event center. It's a totally separate project that was rejected by the voters twice in overwhelming numbers. I'm going to be focusing on stopping that process, putting that event center on hold. The money must go where it was intended, back to the children and to the community services, because those are where our most in need citizens are being taken care of, veterans, senior citizens, and our low-income folks. So we've got to get that money back to them. So there's one area. Second area is dealing with our roads and sidewalks. Our current county chair is giving significant tax breaks to developers of land. That particular tax break is negatively impacting our ability to build roads and sidewalks. I'm going to end that practice. I'm going to implement the full tax that was voted on by the voters of Washington County. They asked for that tax to be implemented. I'm going to implement it, so with the added money that comes back into the Treasury, that money will then go to improve our roads and sidewalks to enable citizens and the kids to be able to travel safely to and fro. And then the other area is obviously around land use planning. We need good, solid land use planning. The current land use event that just occurred was an embarrassment to the county. The county produced a fatally flawed plan that was rejected by the Oregon Court of Appeals. All that had to been done was that the chair needed to listen to the citizens that were talking about it. I'm going to, and giving him advice 4 years ago on what was wrong with that plan. I'm going to be listening to the citizens, getting full input. I'm going to follow the requirements of the law. There are specific requirements. And I'm going to work on good land use planning and help, at the same time, work on encouraging investment inside the urban growth boundaries so we can get the businesses growing and producing jobs, especially the small businesses. That's where 65 to 80% of all jobs come from small businesses. I want to be able to encourage them and get them to grow and thrive. And that's where I'm going. That's major differences.
So you mentioned this land use controversy that was going on, and it went to the state legislature.
Oh, yes.
And they did a grand bargain. Do you
Yes.
have anything else you want to say about that?
So the grand bargain is the state's legislature. It's their efforts to save Washington County. Because of the flawed plan that was produced by this county commission, that was then approved by Metro and LCDC, these government agencies, they didn't check it, or they were in agreement with it, and was fatally flawed. Because that happened, the legislature had to get in here, get involved to save the future economic prosperity of Washington County. They went ahead and sat down and put together a plan, passed that plan, which we still don't know all the ramifications of yet, and to try and save, it was like, estimates there were $500 million worth of investments that were at risk. Because investors, developers had made plans based upon what that original plan was all about. So it's the best, the grand bargain is the best that could be done to try and protect Washington County from itself. So we're still going to have to learn what's going on. I'm seeing news even today where certain developers they're facing serious economic problems because they were left out of the grand bargain. So there's significant problems still to go through, and we need to work through all of these plans. But the bottom line is Washington County needs to be producing quality, planned urban growth plans that the citizens all buy in on, agree to, and meet the needs of our growing economy.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of your main goals that you'd like to accomplish in your first year as chair?
Well, first things, as I mentioned, I'm going to implement the full taxation for land developers so we can get the money back into the county so we can work on building and improving our roads and sidewalks. We need to have efficient, safe transportation system. We've got to do that. That's number one. Number two, we need to focus on stopping the event center funding in the manner in which it's being done, take the money that was given to us by the state for schools and put it back into the schools and into the community services. That needs to be done so that we protect those organizations from the property cuts. We got to make them whole again. We got to help them. So we can't be taking the money away from them. And the third thing I'm going to do is something that I did all through my career, which is listen. I'm going to be advocating and supporting citizen input. I want people to come in and communicate. I'm going to have an open door policy where people can talk to me so that I find out what the concerns are, make sure we're making the best decision possible. I may have to make a decision that some don't like, but my goal is they'll understand why and appreciate the fact that I did listen to them and the fact that I'm trying to do the best job possible for them.
I understand sidewalks have gotten some attention in this campaign. I know my son some years ago walking to elementary school tripped on some broken asphalt and cut up his knee, and he was in some distress. Do you think the county is adequately funding pedestrian infrastructure?
Actually, no. They say they're funding it, but there is a tremendous gap between what they're doing and what they could be doing. Here's the issue. School buses are not supposed to be picking up students within 1,000 feet of schools. So what's happening is there's no sidewalks in a number of schools. There's over 10 schools in the county, in the urban areas, that have no sidewalks around them. So parents then, for the concerns of the safety of their students, because they don't want their students walking on the side of busy streets or in the ditch, as I saw the other day, literally a student walking on the side of the road in a ditch to stay away from the traffic. Parents are driving their students to school, adding more traffic already to the roads that we have. We need to have sidewalks put in. And I was talking with one of our commissioners. He said, yes, he fought to get one of the sidewalks put in around a school. People said it wouldn't matter. He finally put it in. And now when he goes by, all the time he's seeing kids, parents, young mothers pushing the strollers with their kids. People will use sidewalks. We need to focus on the safety of our citizens and make good common sense approaches on our transportation.
Can the county commission do anything to improve schools in Washington County?
It's true we cannot do anything directly with schools. Schools are a separate organization. But again, we go back to that gain share funding. That is the state's mechanism for getting the funding that schools here in Washington County incurred a cut on when we used our economic tools for Nike and for Intel and for other firms. What that gain share fund needs to go back to the schools. Give it back to them so that it brings them back, restores the funding they were cut on, so that they can do the best they can to be educating the kids. That's one thing I'll do. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be encouraging businesses and nonprofits to become involved and partner with schools and look at in-school and after-school programs. Intel has a particular program where they do a science and technology program. They actually have a bus, a large truck, I should say, with a technical equipment, and they go around to the schools, and the kids can come out and work on the equipment and learn about science and technology. We need more of that. We need to be able to help our schools, help the students to learn and see different things, because we never know what one thing may save a child or ignite a thought in a child and give us a whole new world. You never know where they're going. Mm-hmm. It's a fabulous process. That's what I'll be doing, encouraging and focusing on trying to enhance what's out there.
How do you plan to approach our transportation and congestion problems?
Well, again, back to the transportation tax breaks that are being given to our land developers. I'm ending that. That's where the additional money will come into the county coffers so that we can start working on the roads, building, enhancing them, making better roads here. The other area is going to be partnering with the cities in the county, as well as the state and federal agencies, to see what funding we can bring in and partner. Make sure that if we're working on a road, if a city is working on one road, is the county aligned? Or are we working on the road to make it a better process where they're going through unincorporated urban areas where there's near a city? Partner, make sure we're being as efficient as possible, and by partnering also looking at how we can leverage, whereas instead of just the county asking for the money, maybe we bring in the mayors of cities and try and get a bigger package, convince the state and federal agencies to get more money to us on particular areas. We'll look at the different modes of transportation. Can we do light rail? Is that a possibility? We have a problem down in Tigard now, but folks in Forest Grove are very interested in having light rail extended out there. We've got a university out there. Students have to get out there, and that's one way to do that. We're looking at the bus systems. Could we work with the Metro to try and enhance the bus systems? There's a whole number of things we need to be looking at, focusing on to try and reduce the congestion, because it's not only impacting the citizens, but our businesses. There's been several surveys done where 30% of the folks do not want to go into downtown Beaverton or downtown Tigard because there's so much congestion. Think about that. Businesses in those two cities, they are missing out on 30% of their customers. We need to figure out innovative ways, think about how we can improve what we have and make it so that we have efficient and safe transportation systems.
So how is your campaign going?
It's a grassroots effort. I'm not coming in as a long-term politician. Folks asked me to run, and the concerns that we had, we said, okay, we're running, but it's grassroots. So I'm reaching out to individuals, and I'm gratified by what I'm hearing and what I'm obtaining. There's hundreds of people that are coming on board to help volunteer, making signs, call centers. That people care. They want to help. They want to change. They know they feel that things are not right here. I'm getting folks endorsing me. I have school board members from Beaverton to Forest Grove. I have state reps coming toward me. People they're looking for some change here. They want it, and I'm offering them an opportunity, a choice in this election.
Have you received any endorsements?
Well, as I mentioned, yes, from school board members, some state representatives. We also recently, Dick Scouten this week has announced he's endorsing me. And I'm receiving endorsements from hundreds of citizens. They're actually saying they want to endorse me because they believe in what I'm trying to do here. They understand they may not get everything they want, but they'll know that I'll tell them the truth. I will work with them. I'll make sure that I understand what their concerns are, and I'll do the best I can to help them and accomplish it. And I'm putting everything I can into this election. This is every bit of energy I've got is going into this event.
How can viewers who want to participate in your campaign learn more or get involved?
Well, they could go to my website. It's alanamabisca.com. There's also a link there where the email. You can email me at alan@alanamabisca.com. There they can read about my campaign, how they can volunteer. There's opportunities there, and how they can endorse or donate to the cause. we would appreciate all the help we can get. This is a truly grassroots. This is a citizen effort. I'm a citizen politician, if you will. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, I've about asked everything I had on my list to ask you during
Sure.
this session. Do you have any final words you'd like to say?
Well, I think what I want to say to the folks is I'm working to make a fundamental change in Washington County. I'm looking out, where do we want to be in 10 years? We want to have a county that is a great place to live, that has good businesses, has productive businesses so folks can earn good paying jobs, can be able to have successful careers, and that we can travel back and forth easily on good safe roads, where we can be able to have good public safety, and we have great schools so that they're educating our kids who will become successful adults who can become the type of employees that companies will want to come here to hire and help them grow their companies. It's a challenge, it's an opportunity for us. We're at a turning point in our county, and I think this is where we take on the priorities of this county, make us change and focus on the best things we can do, because we've got some of the best people here in Oregon or in Washington County. So that's where we're at. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let me remind people the ballots are mailed May 1 and the election ends May 20. And thank you very much, Alan, for coming in to Tualatin Valley Community TV.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.